Roman Reigns does not beg, the tribal chief does not ask, the head of the table does not stand before anyone with vulnerability exposed and need written across his face. Except on Raw tonight with the Usos beside him, with the family reunited around the wound that CM Punk's disgusting father comment opened. Roman Reigns did something that nobody in professional wrestling history has ever seen him do, and it was the most powerful, most human, most completely devastating thing he has ever done in a WWE ring. The family is reunited. The wound is visible. And CM Punk tonight, on Raw, is going to answer for the most personal attack ever directed at the Reigns family. This is not wrestling anymore. This is something deeper. Something more real. And Suplex Rumble is taking you inside every extraordinary moment of it right now. Suplex Rumble Nation, welcome back. I am your host, and before we go a single second into this breakdown, I need you to understand something that is essential to fully processing what happened on Raw tonight. The word beg in our title is doing something very specific. It is not describing weakness. It is not describing desperation in the conventional sense. When Roman Reigns and the Usos beg for CM Punk tonight, when the most powerful family in professional wrestling makes themselves vulnerable in the most public possible forum, they are not diminishing themselves. They are making the strongest possible statement. Because choosing vulnerability, choosing to set aside the armor and the authority and the character construction and simply stand as a family asking for something genuinely, honestly, from the heart requires more strength than any championship defense or faction warfare or WrestleMania main event ever has. The Reigns family was hurt, deeply, personally, by CM Punk's disgusting comment about Roman's father. And their response to that hurt, reunited, visible in their pain, asking for an accounting, is the most compelling, most human, most genuinely moving thing WWE programming has produced in the entire 2026 calendar year. Subscribe if you are new. Notification bell. Drop a comment right now. How did this family reunion moment make you feel? Let's go into every beautiful, painful, extraordinary layer of tonight together. To fully understand the family reunion that Raw produced tonight, to appreciate why Roman Reigns and the Usos standing together in that ring carrying this specific request carries the emotional weight it does, we need to begin with the wound. The specific, personal, deeply inflicted wound that CM Punk opened when he made his disgusting comment about Roman Reigns' father. Professional wrestling's verbal battlefield has always operated with implicit rules about what constitutes acceptable escalation. The best promo artists, the performers whose verbal capability places them in their own category above the rest, understand those implicit rules not because they always follow them, but because knowing where the lines are is prerequisite to making the specific, deliberate choice to cross them for maximum effect. CM Punk crossed a line, not accidentally, not through competitive heat exceeding his judgment in a heated moment, deliberately. With the full awareness of what invoking Roman Reigns' father would mean, what wound it would open, what response it would generate, what dimension of the rivalry it would permanently alter by bringing into it something that had previously been protected. The Anoa'i family, whose legacy in professional wrestling is one of the most celebrated in the sport's entire history, treats paternal legacy with the specific, culturally rooted reverence that the family's heritage demands. The respect due to fathers and elders is not a casual social convention in this family's framework. It is foundational. It is the specific, absolute value around which everything else the family represents is organized. Roman Reigns' father is that foundation in personal form, not an abstract legacy or a professional wrestling history, a living, present, genuinely beloved parent whose significance to Roman's identity as a person, a competitor, and a member of his family cannot be separated from anything Roman Reigns is or represents. CM Punk addressed that father with words that had no place in professional wrestling's acceptable promo landscape. With the specific, calculated disrespect of someone who identified the most protected target available and chose it deliberately for exactly that reason. The wound it opened was not professional, it was personal. Family level personal. And the Reigns family's response to that wound, reunited, visible in their pain, coming together tonight on Raw, is as personal as anything this family has ever put on display in a WWE ring. The reunion of Roman Reigns and the Usos that Raw produced tonight, the specific circumstances and the specific quality of family coming together around shared pain, is one of the most emotionally significant bloodline moments of the entire saga. Because this reunion is different from previous bloodline reconfigurations, different from the strategic reunifications around championship programs or faction warfare. Different even from the reunion around GUSO's hospitalization, which, as powerful as it was motivated by the external urgency of a family member in crisis requiring collective response. Tonight's reunion is motivated by something more interior, more quietly devastating. The specific kind of family coming together that does not require an external emergency, because the internal wound, the hurt that CM Punk's words created in each member of this family individually, is sufficient to draw them together without any additional catalyst. Jimmy Uso came first. Because Jimmy has always been the bloodline member whose emotional availability, whose specific quality of warmth and genuine feeling that characterizes his relationship with his family makes him the first to respond when family pain is genuine rather than strategic. His presence beside Roman tonight was not political, not calculated. It was the simple, completely authentic expression of a cousin who looked at what had been done to his family's patriarch's legacy and showed up. Uso, whose own journey through bloodline complexity, hospitalization, and the specific hard-won reconciliation of his relationship with Roman has made him perhaps the most emotionally aware member of the family, came with the specific quality of someone who understands, better than most, what it means to have your family hurt and to choose presence over distance in response. And Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the most carefully armored character in professional wrestling, accepted that presence. Received his cousin's arrival not with the authority of someone organizing a faction response but with the specific, completely unperformed gratitude of a family member who needed his people and found them. The three of them in that ring tonight, before a word was spoken, before the request was made, before CM Punk's name was even introduced into the segment, were already the most powerful image Raw has produced this year. When Roman Reigns took the microphone tonight, when the tribal chief addressed the Raw audience with the Usos beside him and CM Punk's disgusting father comment as the context for everything he was about to say, he did something that professional wrestling has never quite seen from this specific performer. He removed the armor. All of it. Every constructed layer of the head of the table persona. Every piece of the tribal chief character construction that has been so brilliantly maintained across years of extraordinary WWE storytelling. Every performance element that separates Roman Reigns, the character, from the person who inhabits him. What stood in that ring was not the tribal chief, was not the head of the table, was not the most dominant WWE performer of the modern era speaking from a position of institutional authority and championship power. It was Roman, the son, speaking about his father with the specific, raw, unmediated love of someone who has watched a person they love be attacked in a public forum and who needs, genuinely, desperately needs, to correct the record, to establish, in front of everyone who witnessed the disrespect, what the truth of his father actually is. What the legacy being attacked actually represents, and what CM Punk's choice to address that legacy says about the specific quality of desperation that drives someone to target the most protected person in an opponent's world. He spoke about his father's sacrifices, the specific, real, completely unromantic things that the Inoue family's professional wrestling legacy cost the people who built it, the years of absence from family events for road schedules, the physical toll of a sport that exacts its price across a lifetime. The specific, unglamorous version of what it means to be the patriarch of a family that has given professional wrestling so much. He spoke about what his father means to him, not in the general, professionally appropriate terms of someone managing their public image. In the specific, personal, deeply human terms of a son describing his father to people who have never met him, wanting them to understand that the person CM Punk addressed is not a footnote or a rhetorical device but a real human being whose significance to Roman Reigns exceeds anything professional wrestling can contain. And then the request. The specific, unprecedented, completely extraordinary thing that Roman Reigns did tonight that earned the word beg in our title. He asked CM Punk directly, publicly, without the armor, to face him, not as the tribal chief challenging the best in the world, as a son asking the person who disrespected his father to stand in front of him and say it again, without the competitive framework protecting him, without the promo and